Now, on to some less than innocent questions that are also less than legal. In a perfect world, companies and managers would judge every applicant only on the basis of the skills and experience necessary to perform the job. But it should come as no surprise that our world is far from perfect. In the real world, many managers and companies discriminate against people of color, people with disabilities, people over the age of 50, even women whom they may simply assume are planning to have children sometime during their future employment. Few of us can claim to be completely objective when judging other people. But the fact is that you, as a candidate for any job, do not have to answer questions related to your race, nationality, marital, or financial status, or even a disability if it's unrelated to how well you could perform the job. If an interviewer is foolish enough to make an issue of your nationality, marital status, or other personal information, should you leap out of your chair and make a citizen's arrest right there? No, but you should sit up and take notice. Every state has regulations governing what may and may not be asked of an applicant during the pre-employment process. Just asking the wrong question is not illegal in itself, but it may open an employer up to a lawsuit if an otherwise qualified applicant is passed over for a job based on his or her answer. Few companies are willing to take that chance. So when it comes to inappropriate questions, most employers tread lightly. But regulations don't preclude the subtle techniques some interviewers use to get applicants to volunteer information. As an applicant, it's still up to you to dodge the bullet. The key is knowing when a question is inappropriate and not surrendering any information that might cost you the job. Every question the interviewer asks should pass this test. Does it have something to do with my current job or the one that I'm applying for? Beyond that, it pays to check with your state's Fair Employment Practices Commission for a list of questions considered inappropriate for employers to ask. In the meantime, here are some questions that should trigger alarms in your head during even the most congenial interview. Is that an Irish, or Italian, or Vietnamese name? Employers may not ask about your ancestry, descent, parentage, or nationality, or that of your parents or spouse. It's okay to volunteer that you're proficient in a language other than English, but the interviewer cannot ask you how you learned to read, write, or speak those languages. Let's say your last name is obviously Italian. When you greet the interviewer, he remarks, "Ritigliano. That's Italian, isn't it?" What do? Just smile politely and don't answer at all. It is quite possible that the interviewer meant absolutely no offense. If the interviewer doesn't get the hint and continues to allude to your Italian heritage, you might say, "I really don't see what my ancestry has to do with my application for this job." If you try to handle the situation diplomatically, you can stay on the interviewer's good side. If an employer tries to pressure you into submitting a photograph of yourself to accompany your job application, simply say, "I don't have a suitable photograph available at this time. Of course, if I'm offered the job, I'd be happy to have one taken." The Federal Immigration Reform and Control Act of 1986 prohibits employers from hiring aliens, people who are not properly authorized to work in this country. Once you have accepted the offer, you will be required to document your right to work by surrendering one of the following: a United States passport, a green card, or a combination of a birth certificate or Social Security card and a driver's license. This is a Christian or a Jewish or a Muslim company. Do you think you would be happy working here? This may be a sneaky way of finding out your religious affiliation. Don't fall for it. employers may tell you which religious holidays the company observes, but they cannot ask you for any specific information in this area. If an interviewer presses you to reveal your affiliation, simply say, "I like to keep my religious beliefs separate from my work, and I respect that right in the people with whom I work." Often the interviewer's bias is not overt. Many interviewers use subtle ploys designed to get you to volunteer just the information that they may use to disqualify you from the running. Are you a family man or woman? You may be, and proud of it, but resist the temptation to whip out the latest pictures of your children. Why? After all, what could seem more innocent than chit-chatting about your fiancé, spouse, or kids? Maybe there is no harm in it. Then again, you never know how an interviewer may interpret your answers. If you're planning to have a child within a year, for instance, an interviewer may wonder whether you will begin to cut your hours at work. If you're engaged to be married, he might assume that you'll be so wrapped up in wedding plans that your attention won't be focused on the job at hand. Interviewers may not ask about your marital status or plans for marriage or for having children. If you already have children, you don't have to reveal their ages or the arrangements you've made for child care. In many states, married women are not required to give an employer their maiden name, unless they've worked under another name at previous companies listed on their resume. Rather than simply refusing to answer a question, you may find it helpful to confront what you believe might be the employer's concerns about your situation. For instance, if the interviewer keeps digging for information about whether you have children, or plan to, he may be concerned about your commitment to the job. You might respond by saying something like, "I sense that you're concerned about my ability to be here on a regular basis to meet deadlines. Just let me assure you that I have always been a reliable worker who's committed to getting the job done well and on time. In fact, in my last position, I was never late to work, and I consistently completed all projects ahead of deadline." Age can be a loaded issue for many employers. If you're in your late 40s or 50s, some employers may worry about your energy flagging or your health failing. Don't give them ammunition in the form of a number. Employers cannot ask for your birth date or about anything that might reveal your age, such as the year you graduated from high school. But age, like race, can be easy to guess. So again, take a positive tack. Play up the benefits of your experience and assure the employer that you have all the vitality for work you had when you were in your 20s.